Hi, everybody. So, hey, I'm doing a recording today. And you know what? We're just going to be really real right from the beginning. I just had a hot flash and my glasses are still fogged up. So, I just wanted to do a quick recording on spring training. So, I got back from spring training a week ago today. We flew back in on Monday. And I just wanted to share some of my experiences and some of what I experienced there, reinforcing why I want to do this podcast. I also want to rant about Arizona a little bit. But if you happen to be somebody who has been to spring training and you have your own thoughts and experiences, I'd love to hear them because I'm a rookie, right? This is my first spring training ever. It's something I've always wanted to do. Uh, she's a lot. Love her, but she's a lot. And so it's something I've always wanted to do. I was raising kids and it just wasn't something that I was able to do until this year. We were supposed to go last year. We had the flu, so we had to cancel our trip. So finally got to go this year. And of course, as my luck would have it, we picked the end of February thinking, okay, it's springtime in Arizona. I have been to Arizona once. And it was the end of August because my son was doing a college tour. My son and I were in Arizona for 48 hours and we could not get out of there fast enough. He really liked the school he toured and went, there's no way I can live in Arizona. We are PNW people. I often say that I was born and raised here, but I wasn't actually. I was born in Indiana, but that's only because my parents were transferred to Indiana while my mom was pregnant with me. So I was conceived in Washington, so I think it counts. And then they couldn't get out of Indiana fast enough. And my dad took it to the first transfer he could get, which was to Massachusetts. My brother was born in Massachusetts. And then they transferred back here when I was about 3. So I am a PNW girl. My whole family is in PNW, the PNW. I am a Washington girl and I don't do heat. So as luck would have it, as I was saying, we were in Arizona in record winter heat. I mean, the radio was talking about it being record heat. It was in the 90s every single day. So everyone told me not to judge Arizona based on August, but I'm going to judge Arizona based on February now. And so I still don't like Arizona. And I'm sorry if you are someone who is listening to this and you are from Arizona or you love Arizona. To each their own, right? Obviously people love Arizona because it exists. I just don't understand why it exists. It's the desert. Why did they populate the desert? And it's very beige and brown. And I am a green Pacific Northwest girl. I was so happy to get back to Washington, even though I really enjoyed the baseball part. However, one of the games we couldn't even watch because it was so hot and our seats were just impossible to sit in, and we ended up not even seeing the game on Saturday. So we saw games Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Thursday and Friday, we flew in Wednesday night. Thursday morning, we went to the practice fields, and that was super fun. I'm really glad we did that. We just got to kind of hang out and watch the players and get, be up and close with them. And we got a lot of good pictures. And it was just fun. It just felt like baseball, right? I mean, I love baseball. And to me, the practice fields are where so many stories are. So many of these minor league players. I keep saying this is the most complicated job interview that anybody has to do. It's just, there's dreams coming true there, right? And there's all these little children who just want somebody to sign a ball for them. And there's just so many stories. So we did that Thursday. I thought we were just going to be out there for like an hour or so and then go back. We were staying at a friend's house about a half an hour away from the practice fields. But we stayed until the Peoria Stadium opened at, I think it was like 11:40 or something. The game started at 1:10. And so then we just went over to the stadium and got to know the stadium a little bit. And found our seats and all those kind of things. Thursday was really fun. Thursday was the only game they won while we were there. So it was really, really fun. And Friday, we decided to go back to the practice fields because I thought maybe I could get Randy or Rosarena to sign my jersey because I am a big Randy or Rosarena fan. And I've got 2 jerseys. I've got a teal one and I've got the City Connect jersey. And I thought maybe I could get him to sign it. And so we go on Friday morning. And they have, oh no, we don't go Friday morning because their game is in the evening. So Friday night was a 6:30 game. So the practice fields opened at 2. It was so hot at 2:00, right? So the players, we got there at 2, everybody's lined up. The thing I didn't say about Thursday was the one thing that happened Thursday that I did not expect, because I'm not going to line up and try to get autographs and all that kind of stuff in a normal situation. It was later in the morning and Rick Riz started to walk across to go over to the practice fields for an interview. And I just saw him and I was like, oh my God, it's Rick Riz. And so we kind of just walked over there. People were stopping him and he stopped and just took a picture with us. It's on my Instagram page. I think my Instagram page is linked under these YouTube. If not, I'll make sure it is. So you can see it. And that was like, oh, everything else here is just icing on the cake. Whatever happens from here is just icing on the cake. It made me tear up. It makes me tear up right now. And yeah, it was just wonderful. And so I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll see if I can get Randy to sign my jersey. Because I figure if I turn around and he sees my jersey with his name on it, maybe he'd stop and sign it. So it's so hot on Friday. The people that work the practice fields came out around 2:15 and said it's going to be another 45 minutes or so before they come out. And we're all just kind of huddling in areas that have a little bit of shade. And the kids are starting to get cranky. And then I just start hearing, now kids getting cranky, that is totally acceptable to me. That's being a kid, and it's hard. If you're a P&W kid and you're now in 90-degree weather and you're probably a little hungry, yeah, I'm 100% on board for that. Kids are kids. That's what they're supposed to do. The part I struggled with was the adults. So there's adults there who start getting really cranky about this. Now, I will also give grace that they were also probably really hot. Like if you are a P&W adult, you're probably also really hot. But in my head, I'm going, they're keeping them inside. They're not having them come out to practice in 90-degree weather when they have to go play a game tonight. So they're keeping them inside. And I was bummed because I was hoping I was going to get Randy to sign my jersey, but I was like, no, I'd rather have them all stay inside than be out here in 90-degree weather for 2 hours playing. And it was really fascinating to hear people start to grumble, right? So let me back up for just a second. I am a big proponent of feelings, and that's part of the reason I want to do this podcast, because yes, it's all about the Seattle Mariners and it's about having feelings about the Seattle Mariners, but it's also about learning about our feelings and how to have all our feelings and what they mean and what's behind them and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I know people were hot and maybe tired and hungry, and they've flown all the way to Arizona from wherever they came from, probably most of them from up here in Seattle area-ish, right? But there's this expectation, or I can't think of the word I'm looking for right now, but this idea that these players owe us something. And that's the part that makes me really frustrated, I guess, because I don't think they owe us anything. They are human beings, and it was really hot, and I don't think they should have had to come out and practice. So there are a few minor leaguers that started running out probably around 3:15. You know, when the sun is starting to like just kind of go over to the other direction. So they were coming out at about 3:15, and you could tell they had been told, don't stop. just go, because they're running out of time now too. They've got a game that's starting at 6:10, or I think it started at 6:10. And so these poor, adorable minor league kids, right, who are my children's age, probably younger than my children, are running across going, sorry, I have to practice. Sorry, I have to stretch. Sorry, I have to, I can't stop. All these little kids with their balls going, can you sign my ball? Can you sign my ball? And you could tell how hard this was on these kids running across here too, not being able to stop, not being able to talk to people. And even, I think at one point, yeah, I'm pretty sure on Friday, Ichiro ran across. I mean, Ichiro was there the whole time, right? Because Ichiro. And, he didn't even stop and do anything. He just kind of ran across. So it was really obvious that they had been told, no autographs today. Just go stretch, go do your warm-ups, go do all the things you need to do. And it is what it is. It's the weather. And so I was fascinated by idea that we are owed something by these players. I'm not fascinated by it. I know that people feel this way. And I just don't think they owe me anything, right? It's my choice to get on an airplane to fly to Arizona to watch them. It's my choice to go out to the practice fields. I don't have to go to the practice fields. We didn't go to the practice fields on Saturday and Sunday. It's my choice to buy tickets to go to those games. It's my choice to do all of those things. None of us have to do it. And these are human beings. And this is the part I really am hoping that this podcast can, for those of us who believe that, right? If you are watching this and you're like, oh my God, you are, they do owe us something. They're being paid $1 million, millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? And, we're buying these tickets and all this kind of stuff. And there is an expectation. And this isn't a podcast for you. And that's fine. That's the part that I'm trying to bring more attention to, is the idea that these all are human beings, and we are all human beings. And so in fairness, I'm okay with people having emotion, right? I can understand being frustrated. I was bummed, but I was also like, yeah, I'd rather he not come out. I never got my jersey signed the whole time I was there. And I'm like, it's not the end of the world. Sorry, I had to turn off my phone. Yeah, so that was a reminder. I was like, this is why I'm doing this podcast episode. Additionally, there were just little things, people watching players and some of the stuff people were just saying. I'm not really going to get into all of it, but I'm very aware of those kind of things. When people say something, negative about somebody or something about what they look like, it really works me up. And so I just was like, yep, this is why I'm doing this podcast. And I do think I'm probably gonna have to change some things with it already. I just don't know that I can go live twice a week, but I'm gonna see what I can do. Ultimately, the goal is, over the course of this season, maybe this community grows a little bit. Like I said, if I can get a handful of people here, just we can talk about stuff like this, it makes me really happy, right? I just want it to be a fun place. I want it to be a supportive place, all those things. Anyway, that was kind of, the game on Friday night was really fun. We had tickets right behind home plate. It was cooler because the sun had gone down. I did talk to a lot of people just about baseball, right? I talked to a gal at the practice fields, and she mentioned where she was from, Mount Vernon. And I spent a couple of weeks in December up at my son's apartment in Burlington, cat sitting my grand cat. And it was during the time where we had the flooding up there. And so she said she was from Mount Vernon. And I said, were you impacted by the flooding? And she proceeds to tell me the story. She has a business that's right downtown, and she shows me some pictures of what they had done. And it was just kind of this connection. And I love stuff like that. I love connections like that, right? And she had 4-year-old son who was done, right? Like in this heat, he is done. And I can tell she just wants to, she wants to get a couple of autographs, and I know what it's like to be a mom of a 4-year-old and all those things. So it was just, those kind of interactions were super fun. But there was still the rest of this like expectation that I'm never going to make go away. This is being human. But I'm hoping we can have a group of people here who maybe don't have those expectations, who just love baseball and love the personal stories behind baseball. There's so many incredible stories at spring training with these young kids. And then right now with the WBC going on, I mean, man, talk about stories, right? Like so many great stories of people who are playing in the WBC who are not Major League Baseball players. I just love it. I love people's stories, and all of these players have stories. One of the other podcasts I listen to, if you have not listened to the Marine Layer Pod with TJ and Lyle, I would highly recommend it. If you want statistics and numbers and all those kind of things. And sometimes they both have, I think they probably have more expectations than I do, but they also do understand these people are players, humans. And they did some great interviews down there. So if you want to listen to their podcast, they had Cal and Logan and Gabe Spire, and they had a really wonderful interview with Rick Riz. And it's those kind of things, like the stories behind the baseball, that I just love. So, yeah, so my experience, we went to the game Saturday and Sunday. Oh, Saturday we really didn't make it through the game. Sunday we did. We were just in the shade. If you've been to spring training at Peoria, all of our games were at Peoria. So 3 of them were Mariners home games, and 1 of them was a San Diego home game. So we didn't get to experience any of the other ballparks, play fields. If I were ever to go back, that's what I would want to do, is see all the rest of them. Last year, I think we had tickets to like 3 different of the parks. But yeah, this year we were at Peoria the whole time, which was kind of nice because we knew where we were going. We knew what we were getting into. We knew the food, all that kind of stuff. But if you've been to the Peoria ballpark and you know the churro guy, oh God, he was there's a video about him on YouTube. I now can hear him when I listen to the games on the radio, right? So I can hear him. I just love him. And there's just so many stories just out at that ballpark with all of the employees that work there for, 6 weeks, and listening to people who have done this year after year after year after year. A lot of snowbirds that are down there that live up here but are big Seattle Mariners fans who are down there, and then they work the ballpark for 6 weeks. I mean, it was lovely. There were also a lot of people who were not well in this heat, and that kind of breaks my heart, and that's being human. And I wasn't well at various times, needing to drink more water than I probably was drinking, and eating was really hard because I was so hot, and all these things. So yeah, it was a really fun experience that I don't know that I need to do again, because I'd really just rather be at T-Mobile in my comfy seats up in the Terrace Club, because that's who I am. I just want a comfy seat. And I don't need to be up and close with the players. It was fun having an opportunity to do that. If I were to go back, like I said, I would probably want to see some of the ballparks, because I loved the baseball part of this. I did not love the Arizona part of this, although I did get really, really, really good ice cream. And it's pretty far away from the field, so it's probably not something that but if you're interested and you want to know what it was, let me know. And it was just an ice cream truck. And they had coffee toffee ice cream, and that is my very favorite ice cream. And you just can't find that very much anymore, especially with toffee that doesn't break your teeth. It was amazing. So baseball and that ice cream were the highlights of my trip. So yeah, it did remind me why I want to do this, though. It reminded me being around fans that are different than me, and that's why I call this a podcast for the soft-hearted fan. I hold nothing, please let me be clear that I hold nothing against people who have those expectations or people who get angry because, they're not playing the way they think they should be playing. I know people are really worked up right now because the Mariners are losing a lot of games in spring training. I don't care about any of that. I think they're all getting a lot of practice. We have 13 players in the WBC. So, everybody's getting practice. That's what spring training's for. That record means nothing. But yeah, I know people are really worked up about it. People are worked up about Root Sports and how we're going to watch next year. Me too. And I just really believe everybody's doing the best they can. So again, this was not the podcast for everybody. If you want to talk about numbers and talk about why somebody's still playing and why somebody's still on the team or all those things, there are multitudes of podcasts that you can do that with. This is not it. This podcast is going to be about what it feels like to be a Mariners fan and the humanity behind being a fan and a ball player and all of those things. So I am hoping after the end of, or once I do the lives, right now I'm thinking I'll do a live on Mondays. I really would like to do a live on Mondays and Thursdays. I just don't know if I can do it. So it just kind of depends on my schedule, my work schedule. But during the lives, I want to have a player of the week, heart player of the week. I don't know what I want to call it, but somebody that touched my heart that week. And what I'd really love is for other people to join in on that too, right? Who's yours? Who was the one that touched your heart that week? And not because they hit home runs or did something amazing in the game, although that counts, right? Because if they did something amazing in the game, when Cal hit that walk-off home run, and you could see it on Cal's face, I can't believe I did this, 2 years ago. I can't believe this is just happening right now. That kind of stuff. Yes. The emotional part you see behind the play, that stuff I want to see. But maybe somebody has a baby or somebody, most of them don't get married in the season. They get married in the off season. But something they did in the ballpark with a fan or, like Josh Naylor and Tucker. I feel like Josh Naylor could be that person for me every single week. He just warms my heart. If you have seen some of his quotes, he said, I don't think people deserve dogs. And talking about, he shook the hand of the female ump, and everybody turned that into something like, how cool is that? And he said, I shake the hand of every ump I've never met, and it's I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And I just want to be welcoming to everybody. That's what I'm about, right? That's it. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to do any more videos, but maybe I will. I don't know. It just kind of depends. Opening day is 2 weeks from this Thursday, so I might do another video in here. I've got a lot of stuff going on in my own life too, and so I just want this to be a welcoming place. I want this to be a place where you can come and talk about this game and talk about people and how you felt about things. And I want it to be a place where we can cry and happy tears and sad tears and frustrated tears and all the things. Because there absolutely is crying in baseball. And this is the place for it. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. If you do happen to see this and you want to share some of your own thoughts of spring training, because I really was a rookie. This is my rookie time of going to spring training. I'd love to hear what other people have to say. If you've never been to spring training and you want to hear a little bit more of my experience, ask. I'm happy to answer those. But if you've been there lots of times and you're like, oh my gosh, Kelly, these are all the things you missed, I'd love to hear about it. So that's what we're here for. So yeah, we're just a little over 2 weeks away from opening day. I am going to the game on opening day, so I will not be doing a live that day, but I'm hoping to do a live that following Monday, just kind of talking about opening day, opening weekend. I'll be watching those games. Hopefully, if we can all figure out whatever the MLB stuff is, and hopefully it's decent. Yeah, so I hope you can join me. And of course, this is a place also that if you have ideas or suggestions about things you'd like to see on this podcast episode, oh, look, there's the other one. That one's the mom to the other one that you saw. If there's things you'd like to talk about, this is not my podcast community. I want this to be our podcast community. So reach out. My Instagram link is in the show notes and down below. And these aren't going to be produced. I think I told you that, but I'm just going to say it again. These are not going to be produced videos. I do have a mic that I'm not using right now. I'm just using my webcam mic. They're not going to be the greatest quality sound or any of those kind of things because I'm not doing this to like get 5 million people following me. I don't know that I want 5 million people following. It would make this community very difficult. I'm just doing it for fun, and I'm really just doing it for this year. And then we'll see where it goes. And I'm going to wing it all the way through. So nothing's going to be overly produced. Nothing's going to be fancy schmancy. I just am doing the best I can with the time I have available, and would love to just have a few people here that would like to talk about baseball and emotions with me this year. So if that's you, I'd love to have you here. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. We'll see what happens between now and opening day. Again, I'm winging it. So I'm excited to have you here though, and go Mariners. Bye. See you next time.